Hey guys, what's up? It's once again it is mp4podcast.com. The other day I bought the game called Rust, and the Rust is like Minecraft, post-apocalyptic, zombie horror survival, something like that. You get to build things. But what I want to talk about is I bought this game, and the game runs like crap on my computer. I'm not saying I have the best computer, but I feel like I do fall within the requirements. And I don't care if I have to play the game on the lowest settings. If I get 30 frames per second, I'm happy with it, okay? I'm happy if I get 30 frames per second, okay? OS, Windows XP, processor, 2 gigahertz. It doesn't say dual core or anything like that, so I'm just thinking single core. I mean, the only single cores I can think of where it's 2 gigahertz is either a Pentium 4 or a Pentium M. Now I have right over here a dual core i5 2.53, so I'm well above those recommendations. Okay, memory card. I mean not memory card. Memory 4 gigahertz, 4 gigs. Excuse me. DirectX 9, hard drive 1 gig, and so on. It doesn't say anything about the video card. I have a 512 meg video card in my laptop. It's a mobile processor, M540. Okay, it's NVIDIA. And even over here on the recommended, I feel that I'm still above the processor. Okay, 3 gigahertz. Doesn't say dual. Doesn't say anything like that. So, lo and behold, I stopped playing the game. I'm at 8 frames a second. It's really bad. So anyway, I go on Google and I start searching Rust lag. There's tons of people here on Google who are just complaining about lag and so on. So I find this post, and there's a couple of YouTube videos, but the one tip that did seem to help the problem is you hit F1, you type in grass.on space balls, and it reduces how much grass there is on the ground, and that does help the problem, but it doesn't help it enough, because now I'm running around 13 to 14, maybe 15 frames per second. But I have to play in a small window like this, okay, maybe a little bit bigger, maybe like where these boxes right over here. That's the size of the box I'm playing in. Not really acceptable, and I feel that, since I have an i5 processor, that I've been lied to in the system requirements. So I contact Steam Valve support, and they say we cannot offer a refund for this transaction. So they don't want to offer a refund to a customer who is a really good customer. Let me show you how much of a good customer I am. Okay, let's give you guys an idea. These are all my Steam games, okay? And we're going to come down a little bit more. I want to talk about Just Cause 2. It was during the holiday or summer sale. I can't remember, but I already owned Just Cause, okay, or Just Cause 2. And they had it on sale with the DLC. And for some reason, the Steam app wasn't working, it was buggy or whatever. My internet was a little bit screwed up for whatever reason. So I started up, Firefox, and logged on to Steam from the browser, and I went to go purchase the game there. And on the Steam, when you buy games through the Steam app, let's say like you already own Just Cause 2, right? And let's say like the whole Just Cause package is on sale. The Steam app will deduct Just Cause and just charge you for the DLC. Let's say you just own Just Cause 2, and the whole thing's on sale. It'll just charge you for the DLC, and it'll charge you for Just Cause. So I already own the game, but when I purchased it through Firefox, I got charged for the game again. I emailed them a couple of times. It was like, no, you weren't charged. I was like, I got the receipts right here. And they wouldn't even help me with that. So I gave up on that. But, these are all the games that I own on Steam. And, that was kind of a learning lesson for me. So when I buy my games, especially with DLC or whatever, just buy it through the application. But I thought, doing it through the website would be fine too, because I'm logged in with my account and Steam would know what I have and everything. So when I click through, it wasn't deducted. So here are all the games that I own. So like I own a lot of games, and gave Valve a lot of my money. But when I asked for a little bit of help and say, hey, this game doesn't run that good, there's lots of people, having problems with it. It's like, no, we're not going to give you a refund. So what I want to talk about is, what if, let's say these are the requirements that I have for my Steam machine, right? Let's just say this is a Steam machine, right? And let's say we're working with these requirements right here. At the lowest setting, with everything turned off, with these settings, Rust should run at full screen at 30 frames per second. How can I have any confidence in buying a Steam machine when they have customer service like this? Valve should have given me a refund and said, sorry about this. We know that you only had it for a day or so or whatever. They don't look at, your past history, experience, see if you're, if you're trying to get free games, or, you're playing a game for a week and you email them for a refund. They don't even look at your history as a consumer. They don't offer you anything. So any hope of me even having any interest in buying a Steam machine has really gone down the tubes. I do think that they're releasing too many Steam machines. I think they should have had a low, medium, and high, 3 models, and games should be guaranteed to work for at least 4 to 5 years. So even if you buy the lowest end machine, it would play the games, kind of like PS3 and Xbox 360 would be low end PCs before the new consoles. Let's say you have Batman Arkham City. A high-end rig would play that at 1080p. Meanwhile, the consoles are playing sub HD, but they still run. You can still play them and have a good experience. That's what I was hoping with Steam machines, where you could buy that machine, and it would run for 4 or 5 years. But how can I buy a Steam machine when you have no seal of approval on what you're selling? When customers come to you and say, hey, there's a problem with this game, it doesn't run good, and I give you evidence about it, and like I said, I'm not the only one having issues with Rust. There's lots of people having issues with Rust. The game is not programmed well, it's not optimized well, and it's a buggy game. A lot of people like it because they like the futuristic feel of it, the zombie apocalyptic. It's cool in that aspect, similar to Minecraft, but it's not optimized well. So Valve, I'm really disappointed in you and how you treated me as a customer. Now I do want to go on and talk about Apple's service for a second. When I've bought games for iOS and I've had problems, I would email Apple, and they would just give me a refund. Google Play, what they're calling it now, refunds within 15 minutes. Just don't do it on a big download like Injustice, like 1 gig. But you can get a refund within 15 minutes. I read about people getting refunds on PSN. They had problems with something with PSN, or they were charged twice. But Sony did fix the problems eventually. Valve really hasn't done anything for me as a consumer. So I don't really have too much faith in Valve in buying a Steam machine. For PC games, just have to be a little bit more careful or whatever, but it kind of sucks that $20 down the drain, and Valve is keeping that money. You know, some of the money is going to the developer, and some of it is coming to Valve. But you know, Valve, you know, if you can't get that money back from the developer, I think you should at least give back your profit to me, because I got screwed. You know, yeah. So I'm really not happy with them. You know, like I said, you know, when you have a customer that buys all these games and say, hey, you know, there's an issue here, I'm not really happy, and they don't want to give me a refund. And I think the reason why they're kind of acting like this is because maybe they feel that they're the only game for buying PC games, and that's not true. There's many different outlets for PC games. There's Distoris, there's Gremium, there's Gamersgate, there's Origin. Say what you want to say about EA, but there's other outlets. You know, there's other indie places to buy games also. You know, but Valve really disappointed in you. And before everybody starts saying Valve is a great company, they are a good company, and don't get me wrong, but I'll never forget the day. I'll never forget the day when they sold Half-Life 2. And I didn't buy Half-Life 2 when it came out. My friend did it. He got it from EB, Electronics Boutique at the time, and now it's GameStop. And he had dial-up internet service. And he had to authorize his game for 8 hours. And he couldn't do it because he had dial-up and he needed broadband. They wanted you to have broadband back in 2004 to authorize the file. Like, they would scan the files, make sure you didn't have any, you know, funky files in there trying to run a free copy or something like that. But a lot of people couldn't play Half-Life 2 because of their DRM and so on. But they don't do that now, but they did it back in the day, and, you know, that was aggravating. Because I was trying to fix the guy's, you know, computer, trying to figure out what it was, and I found out, hey, you know, you need faster internet. I said, hey, you're going to have to take your computer to somebody else's house that has a cable modem or DSL or something, or whatever. I've heard other people who just leave their computers on all night, you know, with dial-up, and let's check the files. And, you know, what happens when your dial-up disconnects? And you got to do it all over the next day. You know, so Valve's not perfect, but they've done a lot better about, you know, their DRM and so on. But yeah, I don't have too much hope for the Steam machine because of this issue. I'd rather just stick with the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. At least everybody does know the specifications of those, and they will stay the same. I did have some hope for the Steam machine before, you know, we really found out what it was. It was, you know, a lot of people thought it was going to have the 3-tier systems, low, medium, and high. So even after 4 or 5 years, let's say you buy a game like Batman, whatever the new Batman game is going to be, it would maybe run at 720p at 30 frames per second. But if you bought the high-end machine, it would probably play at 1080p or maybe 4K or whatever the highest end machines could do. But you would have a guaranteed timeline in how long these games could run. But you don't even have that, and Steam machines are all over the place. So I have no faith in Steam machine in an investment like that as of right now. But anyway, guys, this has been mp4podcast.com signing up. If you enjoyed the video, give me a like, as it does help out the video. Also, if you're new to my channel, hit that subscribe button and let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Have a good one, guys. Later, guys. Bye.